What's going on YouTube? This is Archibald coming at you with video number 3 in fairly quick succession, might I add. Probably come at you with the usual spiel beforehand. If you enjoyed the video, comment if you have any thoughts. I'm always keen to get in the comment section and have a chat with people. And then, as per usual, subscribe so you can get more videos from me. Spiel done. I should have said spiel done before I went. Anyways, this is going to be a pretty, it latches on to the point I was making in the previous video, in the disciplinary has to stop video. Basically, let's go with the premise. Killer Mike posted something on Twitter. I think it was like a video advising young black people on what they can do to succeed and make the steps to put themselves in the best position to succeed as well, financially, and giving advice when it comes to investment and such, which is fair enough. I believe, like, historically speaking, I'm aware of Killer Mike. Like, I'm a huge Outkast fan, so I know of Killer Mike from back before Run the Jewels and shit, right? And he has been pretty clear on his views at the systemic level of the injustices that African Americans face. He's been very clear, but he's also said that to a certain extent, we can't change the system. I'm just distilling what he's saying, but basically, his thoughts. I might be incorrect, but this is what I believe they are. To a certain extent, we can't change the system as it is now. It's going to take time. So in lieu of the time taken for these changes to take effect, we need to take our destiny into our own hands. And that means being able to invest in ourselves, being able to build our own wealth so we can get a seat at that table when it comes to these discussions being made, and supporting one another. And he was providing that support in the form of individual advice, which I don't have an issue with. I don't think that you should be framing advice to people and help them succeed at the systemic level all the time. Like, if my wife came to me and said, I wanted to work in senior management, I'm not going to turn around and be like, the glass ceiling is going to make it really hard for you, so you should just not bother. No. The advice you'd be giving is like, look, you'd want to study, build up the experience, find a mentor, and just work hard. Because even if you don't make it to senior management, all those steps can lead you to a pretty fulfilling career. All those steps can lead you to a position where you could be earning boku bank. To be honest, we live in a capitalist society. You have to do what you can with what you got, right? So that advice, I didn't have any issue with it. But FD sure did. And FD blurted that out on Twitter, which was one of the worst things you could do, because Mr. Des Tiny himself, Kenneth Bonnell Jr., picked it up and had the correct take, which is, we can talk about system, but I'm distilling what he's saying, but looking at his track record, he's saying you can talk about these systemic issues affecting people, but when you focus on providing that systemic issue as the leader and the closer, when you're talking about helping people succeed, that doesn't instill inspiration within people to go out there and try and better themselves. What that does is just breeds a level of nihilism that is just counterproductive. Yeah, like, it's easy for someone to turn around and be like, you're black, the odds are stacked against you, why bother? That's the message that someone will pick up from that, especially if you don't provide any advice beyond that, which is exactly what Killer Mike did. He provided advice beyond the usual highlighting of systemic issues that we face as a minority, right? Anyways, one thing led to another, and FD signifier got very... I'm not going to editorialize it. Basically challenged Destiny to a debate on the premise that Destiny would donate $25,000 to stop the Cop City movement in Georgia. To which Destiny agreed if he could be unblocked. Unblocked him, waited 12 hours, which is weird because I've seen FD engage in shitty behaviour and wait a month before talking to someone, as per my first video. And 12 hours later, reblocked Destiny. Destiny, being Destiny, took that as a slight and decided to donate the $10,000 that he agreed to, not the $25,000, to the Cop City movement, not the Stop the Cop City movement, to the Cop City program. I don't know what it is, like project, program, whatever it is. Basically, the police academy being built. He donated money for the cause of the police academy being built. Abba from Abba and Preach saw this, as screenshotted here, donated a further $15,000. Now, people are laughing at this. I don't really think it's that funny. I don't know, like maybe the toning in my voice sounded a little bit funny with the delivery. If you're watching this and you have a bit of a chuckle, I'm not going to hold it against you. I have a cadence that can, speech that can sound like I'm trying to crack a joke. So you're waiting for a punchline. The punchline is this. This speaks to the video that I uploaded a couple of days ago talking about the damage that viewing yourself as an entertainer in this space when you're a political actor causes. Because all of this was WWE posturing on FD's part, right? Now, I can condemn Destiny and Abba for doing what they did, and yeah, what they did was really petty and really harmful. But you're missing the forest for the trees in this. The forest is the fact that FD Signifier went up on Twitter to chase clout, be a clout goblin, and now he's provided the Stop the Cop City movement with 25,000 extra hurdles that they have to overcome. Now, I'm not aware of the Cop City movement and what the locals want as well. But this is what I'm talking about when I say this fuckery has very real implications. And this might be minor, but just imagine what he would do and the damage he could cause in undermining a movement against some of the bills that are being passed in Florida, for example. That's a bit of a different whatabout because you're fighting against a well-oiled but stupid political machine in Ron DeSantis and the Republicans in Florida. But you can't look past the fact that that machine is well-oiled. And that means you have to be on your fucking P's and Q's. And this is the point I've been making from the first video to the second video to this video here. You're not entertainers first, you're political actors. That means you have to move correctly. You can't be caught lacking. Because getting caught lacking at an interpersonal level, you might get beat up. You might get pressed, you might be embarrassed. Fair enough. You can take the loss. At a political level, other people start getting damaged. Other people start getting hurt. And yeah, this is fucking wild, right? Like, you have to sit there and we have to sit here and look at this for what it is, which is FD Signifier fucking around and other people finding out about his behaviour. Let's rephrase that, sorry. FD Signifier fucking around and other people finding out what happens when he fuck around. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. It sounds a bit Ebonicsy, but AAVE, but that's all good. Now, the other issue that pops up, and I mentioned during the original video, but like I said in the original video, Kudology isn't someone that I turn around and I'm like, oh yeah, no, she's the greatest leftist, because she's not really a leftist content creator. She's one of the enlightened centrists, a couple of turfy points here and there, but she makes a couple of poignant points that we need to reflect on every so often. And FD signifies behaviour, along with Soul Bunny's behaviour, has now given her ammo to turn around and be like, the new left has a race problem. To be frank and to be honest, yeah, I agree with that. We do have a problem with race within this space because, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that want to be performative and they're willing to tolerate what is very harmful behaviour from minorities in this space because they're minorities. And it speaks to a lot of the tokenism that we're supposed to be against. And FD signifies one of those people. And this is an example of that toxicity that these people bring into the progressive cause and space. And this is another means by which the left is undermined. Because now she's only got 100,000 subscribers. As she gets bigger and people start finding this video and it get more views, she is a very good rhetorician. She has an academic background as well. Myself included, I have an academic background. One thing that academics teaches you that being a fucking video essayist doesn't is how to construct an argument that's compelling. And you don't have to be verbose about it. People think that studies have a huge amount of verbosity behind them. No, they're very poignant and clear. They just use terminology you might not understand. The problem with video essayists, and I say this, I've sort of waffled to this, but I think it's a good point to raise, is a lot of these people don't understand how to put together a piece of knowledge or a study or their arguments. They don't know how to shore them up. Some of them do. And I've spoken to it in comment sections as well. Some of them are really good at shoring up their arguments. But now we're starting to see these clout chasing video essayists crawl into the limelight. And in doing so, engage in behaviour that, it is fairly abrasive to the goals of progressives. And not only have they done that, they've got this hubris that leaves them with this thought that somehow their medium is the most effective medium in bringing people over to the progressive cause, which is, again, stupid, because I've mentioned it in previous videos. There are studies that show this. There is no formula in changing someone's mind, right? As far as the medium with which you are able to accomplish that. There is no formula. It could be any or all of the mediums that we have at our disposal that can bring someone over from the right or the center to the left. And they don't need to go all the way. We're in this to build coalitions, to see our goals realized, right? You're not treating this as a purity test. If you treat it as a purity test, you're doing essentially what racists used to do, which is create a more and more exclusive pool of people. The problem is, though, we don't have accesses to the privileges that those more and more exclusive people did when we're looking at this through the lens of a racist or looking at this through the lens of a supporter of apartheid. This is the point I'm trying to make. And I this is almost 15 minutes into it, but fuck it. And I've sworn. I don't know how I'm not going to be able to swear. Like, let's be real. But this is the point I'm trying to make. Give me half a moment. Sorry, I had to extend the video. And I sort of want to cap off with this. I've got a minute. Even though I might extend it again. Anyways, this is the point I'm trying to make. As a progressive, we may have the most commonly held views amongst people, sporadically, like from issue to issue, but we definitely aren't in a position of power. So that means you need to build coalitions to see the changes that you want made. And FD signifies behaviour, as illustrated by Codology, again, where him and his ilk will use things like race and trans issues as a cudgel and a ways to further exclude people. You can't expect to see the changes that you want made when you have that approach. Didn't work back during MLK and Malcolm X's days. It's not going to work today. And if anything, all you're doing is you're burying your head in the sand whilst more and more fucked up things happen to people who happen to be minorities too. And those fucked up things, like in the case of the $25,000 going to Cop City, that doesn't affect FD Signify. So he's never really going to see the damage that he's caused. But it sure as shit will affect the people in that community who are against it, if they are against it, in police harassment and things like that. If this Cop City churns out the police you normally see whenever you watch people getting harassed. So I hope that anyone that's watching this video can start seeing the alarm bells that I've been seeing. To be honest, I think I'm probably preaching to an echo chamber as well, and I'm cognizant of that. But I'm hoping just one chance, someone who's a fan of FD Signifier can watch this and go, well, hey, hang on a minute, that's not right, and work towards trying to influence him. As said, it's not a drama video. I'm not attacking FD Signifier's character. I'm attacking the behaviour he's engaging in because I think it's, like I said, it's damaging to the left. And applying that level of empathy is what will see us building the coalitions that we need and being able to finally have the needle turned in our favour. So there we are, 17 minutes and 38 seconds into this. I think anyways I've extended it to that. I always think these are going to be 10 minutes and they just get longer. But anyways, everyone, be easy, be safe, and keep doing what you're doing out there. Just work being better, usual spiel. And like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon.